the first thing we'll do is we will take two PCs. Laptop is fine. Laptop there. And the laptop there. Two PCs, yeah. And then we're going to grab two routers. No need for switches. Now, the router I would recommend is a 1941 router. So we're better off going for the same router, 1941, yeah? So we got two PCs and the 1941. This guy here. Now we need to connect the devices together. So this one here is your connections. So we're going to go from a copper straight crossover from the PC, fast Ethernet 0 into gig 0/0. So what I'll write that down is gig 0/0. Okay. And then this connection here, gig 0/1.
Lee, how do you modify the text on the?
So I'm only doing it to show you. You don't have to do it yourselves. But you can do up here. You see this says place a note. Have you got text on your screen there? Is it, Jerry? So if you've got text on your screen, I prefer removing all of that. So I like working off a screen, and the only text I have is the text I put in myself. So if you go in to options, preferences, and remove show, so remove these two buttons, show device model labels, show device name labels. Take off those two. And you'll see all your text gone. Is that okay? Oh, that's a bit big. Is that okay, guys? All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Can you redo the second cable that you?
Yeah, so it's just that one there, Edmund.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm going to remove that because it should be a crossover, router to routers crossover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit different here. I'm going to put this from gig 0/1 to gig 0/0. Okay, so gig 0/1 to gig 0/0. Okay, and I'm going to put names. So this is going to be Dublin router, and this is going to be the Cork router. So you see where the physical interfaces are. And then we got a connection going from Cork, gig 0/1 to the laptop over here. Just give them names, PCs, call this Al, and call this Bob. Okay, so Al is in Dublin, Bob is in Cork. Okay, we're using the same subnet that we used yesterday, 192.168. Now you don't have to draw these out, okay? I'm just doing it. That's the same subnet there. 192.168.1.0, 192.168.2.0, and 192.168.3.0. So 1.1, 2.1, 2.2, 3.1, 3.2.
Sorry, can I ask you a question? You see the letters for the 0/0.
Yes.
How does that come up?
I typed that in myself, Edmund.
Okay.
So I typed that in myself. I'm only showing it to you. You don't have to do exactly what I say. I'm only putting it here so you can see where things are connected into.
Okay.
You know, so all I want you to do is just connect your laptop into gig 0/0. You don't have to put the notes. You can use my notes as a reference That's to show you where they go, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So Al's IP address on his PC is 1.2. Bob's is 3.2. Bob's default gateway is 3.1. I'm going to put in the subnet /24. This one here is the /30 even, and this one here is /24. Okay, is everyone with me there?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So the first thing we'll do, we're going to start going. We'll do the root. Actually, we'll do the PCs first. Okay. So we're going to give this PC here 1.2. So click on Al. Go into desktop. Go into IP configuration. And we're statically using the IP address of 192.168.1.2. Okay, the subnet mask is /24, so it's 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.1, which is also the router's interface of gig 0/0. Okay, so as IP address 1.2, 192.168.1.2. The subnet mask is a /24, which is 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is 192.168.1.1. All right. Okay. We go into Bob, configure Bob's PC with the exact same. The desktop, IP config, 192.168.3.2. Default gateway is going to be 192.168.3.1. Cool. Next, we have our routers. So we click on the Dublin router. Now, if you notice, guys, all the links are red. They should be red for that reason, because Packet Tracer shows us the links are down because all router interfaces are administratively down. Okay. So we click on CLI. And it says, would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? So basically, this tells us that we don't have any settings in here. Our router has no configuration, has no prior configuration. So when we see this message, we're just going to have to say yes. Sorry, no, we don't want to go into initial configuration dialog. And that's where we want to be at there. It says, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Say no, press enter, and we're in user mode. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is go into configure this router hostname Dublin. So there's your commands. Enable, press enter. Then config space T, and then hostname space Dublin. Okay, so it says find out a show IP address to see what interface types our router has. Okay, now we can't do it in global configuration, or can we? What command did I say yesterday?
Do.
The do command. Do means you can execute any command at any mode. So if I typed in show IP int brief here, it's not going to work because the show command doesn't work in config mode. But I can cheat by doing show IP int brief. And you can see we don't have many interfaces on a router. We've got two here, gig 0/0 and gig 0/1. All right. Okay. Everyone with me there?
Yep.
Okay. So also, if I do show IP route, the router says I don't have anything in my routing table. Why? Well, look at the links. The links are all down. The links are administratively down. They're shut down because all of the router's ports by default are shut down. So you're going to need to bring them up. The router doesn't have any IP addresses and it doesn't have anything in its routing table. So that's where you need to put that information in it. Okay. So if you have a look, we need to assign 192.168.1.1. Now, guys, I'm going to pause here for a second, right? Make sure before you start configuring it, make sure you have your interfaces like this, okay? Because if you're going to be copying what I have, you will have to have the physical interfaces set up the exact same way as me. So the link between the PC 1.2 and the Dublin router is going into gig 0/0. Now look at this. This might be a little confusing. Then you have a connection in Dublin is gig 0/1, but that's going into Cork gig 0/0. And then you got a link in Cork gig 0/1 to Bob. So I wanted to just mix it up a little bit, get you used to doing different interfaces. That's the way you should have it set up here. All right. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to tell our routers about their directly connected networks. Dublin doesn't know about the 1.0 network. Dublin doesn't know about the 2.0 network. We need to tell it. How do you tell a router about its directly connected networks? By assigning an IP address to its relevant interface. Okay. So here, instead of saying, oh, by the way, this command, you can't use fast CCNA because this is a lab. So it'll be gig 0/0. So go into Dublin and say interface gig 0/0. Int gig 0/0 IP address 192.168.1.1 space 255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. And you see the link should come up there. We're going to exit out there. Okay, so it's the same as what we have on the lab, but instead of doing gig fast Ethernet, it's gig interface G 0/0. I don't want to go too fast, so let me know when you're finished that, guys.
Done.
Yep. Good to go.
All right, everyone else finished?
No, I want to confirm my cable from the 1.2 to the router 0/0, but I'm trying to break the cable and.
Okay, look, if you just take the mouse and drag and drop it, hold it. So if you click on the link, so when you move your mouse over the head like that,
Yeah,
and click on it once, and then you can drag and drop it.
okay.
Okay. And when you do a no shutdown on gig 0/0, that link, that green link there, the link between the router and the PC should go green. If it doesn't go green when you do a no shutdown, then you're using the wrong interface. You're configuring the wrong interface. All right. Okay. So the next thing I need to do is configure this link here, gig 0/1. Okay, now Dublin has an interface serial 000, but the actual link, hold on, I'm going to put this command in here. It's gig 0/1. Let me just notepad. So the command will be interface gig 0/1. Okay. So int gig 0/1, IP address 192.168.2.1, and then no shutdown. Okay. So int gig 0/1, IP address 192.168.2.1, 255, 255, 255, 252, and no shutdown. And see, as the link has changed to up. But if the link says it's changed to up, why is this red though?
Because the other side hasn't been configured yet to tie into it.
Because Cork is still down. So when you've got, while Dublin is configured and we've done no shutdown, the full link is red because the other end is still down. In order for a connection to be up, both links must be receiving traffic. Okay, so this is not enough here. We need to, now what will happen is if I go into Dublin, exit, and I do show IP int brief, you can see there's an issue with Dublin gig 0/1 because while it's physically up, it's not receiving any traffic because the other side is still down. So until I go into Cork and bring that link up, then this line here will remain red. Okay. So I need to go into Cork. What I'll do is let me go into Cork. We haven't configured Cork yet. So go into Cork, CLI. Would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? No. Enable, config space T, host namespace Cork. Okay, enable, config space T, host namespace Cork. And then we're given Cork gig 0/0, the IP address of 192.168.2.2. So again, you say int gig 0/0, IP address 192.168.2.2, and the subnet mask is /30, so it's going to be 255, 255, 255, 252. We also need to do no shutdown. So there's the commands for the Cork. Int gig 0/0, IP address 192.168.2.2, and then no shutdown. And that should go into, you should see the link change state to up. You're good to go there. It's green and green. Okay, guys, how are we getting on with that?
Done, yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, so we need to configure gig 0/1 with the IP address of 192.168.3.1. Okay, so you have a go there yourselves. Based on this information here, we need to, I'll give you a minute to do it. Go into gig 0/1 in Cork and assign it to 192.168.3.1. All right. Okay. People are finished here. Cool. All right, so it's you go into int gig 0/1 IP address 192.168.3.1 Do not shut down. Now we've got green, green, and green. So basically, our routers, we have, what have we done? We've assigned our IP address on all of our interfaces. 1.2, 1.1, 2.1, 2.2, 3.1, and 3.2. Will we be able to ping from Al to Bob? Okay, just, is everyone with me there, guys, so far? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I open up a PC here, Al's PC, and I go to command prompt and I say ping 192.168.3.2. Now, what error message are we going to get? We're going to get a response from our default gateway. Al is going to get a response from 1.1, which is Al's router, which is Al's default gateway. Because look, Al is connected to 1.1 here, and 1.1 is going to respond back to Al and say, where the hell is 3.2? Destination host unreachable. See? So Al is getting a response from 1.1 and saying, it doesn't say where the hell is 3.2, it says destination host unreachable. We send 4 packets across. The router responded with 4 messages saying, I can't reach that. And that is because show IP route. The router doesn't know about 3.2. Sorry, apologies up on the screen, same screen. There we go. The router doesn't know about 3.2. Like here's the router's routing table. By the way, in the latest version of CISCO, you can see L. L is the local IP address that was assigned to the interface. So L means 1.1 was locally assigned to gig 0/0. 1.0/24 is the connected networks. 2.1/32, which is assigned to gig 0/1. By the way, the L connections, the L code is your local, how it was low, it was the local IP address that you assigned. It will always be a /32 because one IP address on its own is a /32. That was the IP address we gave to gig 0/0. So C is a connected network. L is the one IP address that we assigned to the interface. Does that make sense? Now, Dublin doesn't know about the 3.0 network. So, because it's not connected to Dublin. Dublin knows about 1.0 because it's directly connected. It knows about 2.0 because it's directly connected. It doesn't know about 3.0 because we never told it. If you look at it from a sort of a logical point, how the hell would is Dublin meant to know about a remote network that is somewhere over on the other end? It's not going to know. So what you have to do is you have to give the router directions. You have to give the router directions. You have to say, hey, Dublin, first of all, tell Dublin about the 3.0 network. The Dublin router will not know about the 3.0 network unless you manually tell it. So you go into global config mode. Now, let me explain this. There's two ways of giving static routes. I explained one of them yesterday. I'm going to explain the other way now. They're very similar. The first way is IP route 192.168.3.0 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and then you specify the next hop IP address, 192.168.2.2. So you're saying, hey, Dublin, in order to get to 192.168.3.0, go out via the next hop IP address of 2.2. Now that is one way. That's your command. You've done it there. There is another way. This is either or. You don't have to do both. I'm going to remove this one. Let's see the other one. So I've just removed that static route. No IP route. The other way is IP route 192.168.3.0, 255.255.255.0, and you can specify the local physical interface. So you're saying, hey, Dublin, in order to get to 192.168.3.0, send it out gig 0/1. And it'll give you this message. Don't mind that message. IP route 192.168.3.0 with this subnet mask, specify gig 0/1. So there's your two options. I will actually, what I'll do is I'll put both beside it. One of them, so the start is the same. You're specifying the remote network, which is 192.168.3.0, and then I'm using my Dublin's local physical interface, which is gig 0/1. Or I can do IP route 192.168.3.0, the next hop IP address. So it's local interface, which is gig 0/1, or the next hop IP address, which is 2.2. It doesn't matter which you use. You're going to have to get used to it yourself. Okay. Any questions on that, guys?
And I'll just have to do the same thing for the Cork router.
What's that?
So now
You do the same thing for the Cork. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So I get you to do the same thing in Cork there. Give you a chance to think of it, what to do. They're the commands for Dublin. You do the commands for Cork. Okay, are we getting on with that, guys? We're going to Cork. I'm set it up. So go to Cork and enable. Take this key int gig 0. Oh, actually, no. What we're going to do is start up the static route. So IP route. We need to tell Cork about 1.0. Hey Cork, in order to get to 192.168.1.0 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, go via the next hop IP address, which is 192.168.2.1. Or, and I'll put both of them in, IP routes in order to get to 192.168.1.0, 255.255.255.0, go out the local interface of gig 0/0. That's it. If I go exit out and do a show IP route, now you can see Cork has a static route to get to 1.0. It's connected to 2.0 and 3.0. Cork is connected to 2.0 network and the 3.0 network, but it can't possibly know about the 1.0 network. That's why we gave it a static route. So now, am I going too quick? Is that okay, guys? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now if we go to Al's PC, click on it here, and go to command prompt and rerun our ping. Oh, we're timing out. Why are we timing out? That'd be interesting. Let's see. I have no idea why we're timing out. Okay, let's troubleshoot.
Mine took a few seconds and then it worked.
Ah, okay, there we go. Yeah, let's work there. That's it. Sounds working out. Okay. So packet tracer is simulating the actual ARPing. I had to ARP. So you can see it all that time. Yeah, perfect. So that's what we should see there now, yeah? Okay. Good, good, good. Is everybody able to ping from 1.2 to 3.2?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, cool. Second. All right. So now there is another command you can use, and what I'll do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this. What's that snippet? Okay, and what this command is called tracert. So what tracert does is it shows you the hops. So I'm on Al's PC here, and I say tracert to 192.168.3.2, and I'll explain in more detail what this is. So basically, Al's PC will map out every interface that it connects to before getting to 3.2. So the first packet will be mapped out as going in to 1.1, okay? Then the next packet will be mapped out going in to 2.2, and then the next one will be going in to 3.2. So you see 1.1, 2.2, 3.2. So tracert shows you the layer 3 hops. layer 3 is a router that it takes in order to get to your destination. When you're probably saying, well, that's fairly self-explanatory, because really there's only one way of getting from Dublin to Cork here. But what would happen if you had a setup like this? Let's say this was Galway, and there was some issues with pings. Well, then traceroute would be really useful, because you can say, if I want to get to 3.2, am I going Dublin to Cork across, or am I going via Dublin via Galway? Traceroute will show you the exact destination it takes in order to get to the given network. Does that make sense? Command is very simple. You go onto your PC and you say tracert space the IP address. That's 192.168.3.2. And you can see it's going in to 1.1, it's going in to 2.2, and it's going in to 3.2. Really, really useful. Tracert or traceroute. If you're using it on the router, it's called traceroute. If you're using it on the PC, it's called tracert. Sometimes Google allows you to ping it or to do a traceroute on your actual Windows machine. Yeah, so you can see here, look, this is direct. This is the direct path it's taken me to get to google.com. I'm going as far as here. So basically, this is probably Google's internal network, and they're stopping packets from going through. So I'm hitting these routers. These are, this is my local router here, and then I'm going to do an ISP, then another ISP probably, then another device, another device, another device. And I'm sending these three. These are more like they're called probes. Okay, I will explain more detail what tracert is when I with Dropbox, not with Dropbox, with Wireshark, sorry. But yeah, I don't want to do it now. There's too much going on. Okay, it uses ICMP and a thing called TTLs, time to lives. Okay, so one thing that we looked at yesterday as well was we had a cloud. Remember, this was our pretend link to the internet, and create a new link. This is just a pretend link. So can I even draw a link in? No. Okay, so let's say our pretend link here is going across here. Here we go. So this link, I'm going to give it 1.1.1.1. Now, how did we configure 1.1.1.1 yesterday? We went into the loopback interface in Dublin, and we gave a loopback address of 1111, which was our pretend link to the internet. So you can do the same. Like, let's go into Al in here, or Al for a second. If I go in here, right, and I run a ping to 1.1.1.1, you can see destination host unreachable. Because we don't have a route for 1111 on the router yet. Okay, no. So what let's just close that. So what I need to do is configure a well, first of all, I need to configure a loopback. Enable config space T interface loopback 0 IP address 1.1.1.1 255 255 255 255. So I'll put the command there in.
Sorry, what ports did you connect the network cloud?
So this isn't, so I'm giving it 255, 255, 255, 255, which is one IP address on its own. Because a loopback, there's no network behind one IP address. You know, if we look at the LAN here, you could have a switch here, yeah, and that switch could contain 200 ports, and then you'd have this subnet here, which will summarize 200 ports. But a loopback address is only one IP. It's a virtual interface on a router, and because it's only one IP, you give it a subnet mask of 255, 255, 255, 255, and that's known as a /32. One IP on its own is a /32. Okay, any questions on that, guys? So now Al will be able to ping 1.1.1.1. So go in here, because this is a real IP address. I'm pinging at this virtual IP address that I just installed on my router, 1.1.1.1. And this interface will behave the exact same way as a physical interface on a router. The only difference is it's not subject to physical conditions. Like if I go in and do a show IP in brief, I'm going to see my loopback address of 1.1.1.1 here. Okay, any questions on that? So another thing which we talked about yesterday was, let's say Al here wants to go to google.com, right? So let's just get rid of this connection here. So we have our pretend link to the internet. Again, I'm only using this as a pretend link to the internet, our loopback as a pretend link. So let's say this is our pretend link, right? We've got this cloud, and there's the IP address of our loopback was 1.1.1.1. Okay, so let's say google.com is 8.8.8.8, and Al types in www.google.com. Well, the source IP address is 1.2. The destination IP address is 8.8.8.8. Now that packet is going to go into the Dublin router on this interface. It's going to go in to gig 0/0 or 1.1, and then the Dublin router is going to inspect the destination packet, which is 8.8.8.8, and Dublin will check against its routing table. It'll say, do I know about the network 8.8.8.8? Do I have a route in my network to get to 8.8.8.8? And the simple fact is, no, it doesn't. There's nothing in there that tells Dublin about the 8.8.8.8 network. It only knows about the networks that we told it about. So you have what's known as a gateway of last resort. You can set up a gateway of last resort, and what it means is it basically is the route to the internet. So you're saying any routes for the internet, because you can't possibly remember millions of routes out on the internet, because there physically is millions of routes out on the internet. So you can use the gateway of last resort to cover all them routes. So the command is config space T IP route 0000 space 0000 space loopback 0. So saying, hey, Dublin, any routes that I don't know how to get to, such as Google, such as Facebook, such as Twitter, such as LinkedIn, such as Irish Jobs, whatever, send it out, my loopback is 0. Now I have a default route. So that's the command there to set up your default route. So first of all, you create your loopback address, and then you create your default route. Okay. Any questions on that, guys? So now Dublin will be able to send packets to the internet. But what about Bob? What happens if Bob tries to ping 1.1.1.1? Ping -t. How can Bob ping 1111 without putting a route directly to the network? We can set up a default route in Cork to tell Cork about its unknown routes. So what we could do is we could say, hey, Cork, in order, if you receive a network that you don't know how to get there, send it to Dublin. Because you see, Cork's gateway of last resort is not set either. So we want to tell Cork to any unknown routes it receives from Bob or from anyone over here, send it to Dublin. Then Dublin will send it out to the internet. You're kind of passing the buck to the next router downstream, which will pass it to the next one, which will pass it to the next one, and eventually it'll get to where it needs to go. So I'll go on to the Cork router, config space T, IP route 0000 space 0000 space, and now I can specify my local interface or my next hop IP address. So I say 192.168.2.1. So it's, hey Cork, any unknown routes such as 1111, send them across to Dublin. Let's look. As soon as I did that, Bob was able to ping 1111. Look, he's getting a response from 1111. Let me look at the Cork router. If I do end and I do show IP route, does the Cork router know about 1111? Does it have an entry? Does the Cork router have a specific entry for 1.1.1.1 there? No, it doesn't. There's nothing that mentions 111 there, but it does have a default route which covers anything that is not in the routing table, that is not specifically mentioned in the routing table. Send everything to Dublin. There we have it. An asterisk, an S with a wild card. Everything else, 0000 means everything else. Send to Dublin. Okay. So the command, your default route in Cork is IP route 0000 space 0000 space 192.168.2.1. And then, as your way of testing it, Bob here should be able to ping 1111. Let me see if I can get both of these up on, at the same time. The router here. You get Bob's. That's up here. And let me just rerun that. Okay, so you can see the ping running, and I'm going to go into Cork here, and I'm going to remove that route. No IP route, right? So I'm removing the default route from Cork. So keep an eye here. Oh crap! Keep an eye. That should work on the pings then. So press enter. As soon as I do that, look, destination host unreachable. I put back in the default route. As soon as I put back in the default route, getting a response. Any questions on that, guys?
No.
Okay, well, good. Good. Okay. All right, I'm going to shop the thing there. Actually, let me just share screen again there for a second. Can we see that there? Let me just go into static routes because I have homework for you. It's just basically a bit of troubleshooting. I'm going here. So in one of the classes in day 5, there's a lab, a folder called static routing to T-shoot homework, okay? And basically it's a packet tracer lab, but it's not finished and it's not configured correctly. So there's lots of mistakes in this packet tracer lab, okay? It's in your Dropbox, day 5, static routing T-shoot homework, okay? So when you go in, it's very similar lab than the one we already set up, but you can see here, there's 5 issues. You have to find out all the problems and fix all the problems. Your end goal is 1.2 should be able to ping 3.2, 1.2 should be able to ping 1111, 3.2 should be able to ping 1111. Okay, so basically it's as if somebody made a Hames of the lab we were doing, and your job is to fix it. Okay, it is more difficult to troubleshoot someone else's broken network than to actually configure a network from scratch. Trust me. And that's your job. You didn't create the network. You don't know where the errors are. You have to troubleshoot it. If you're a consultant working for a company, a consulting company, and you're brought in and there's a link down, you know, you'll have to troubleshoot it. You didn't design the network. You didn't build it. Okay, so have a go at that anyway, guys.